Warrington had a reputation of being
we'll
a team.
score more than you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Steve Price, I imagine, very conscious of that and worked incredibly hard on some defensive resilience. That being said, you need to score points, and Warrington will be looking better than what they've shown with the ball, aren't they?
Here is Garbett, who came so close at the end of the first half to cutting the deficit for Hull Kingston Rovers. It needed that superb tackle from Ratchford to deny Garbett the try. Garbett, who'll be joining Toulouse next season in the Championship by all accounts. So, Rovers in possession. Daniel Murray it is on the ball for them, the former Halifax and Salford forward, making his 19th consecutive appearance for the Robins. Here is Garbett. And Garbett plays the ball. It's with Ellis, who gives it a big boot downfield. Straight into the arms of Tom Lynham. Lynham, first half try scorer.
Just keep your eye on where Warrington are starting sets. Again, it's the same narrative that we saw in the first half. Anthony Gelling now over, or just about on the halfway mark in 2 tackles. That's what will hurt Hull Kingston Rovers, and that's what will benefit the Warrington Wolves. The work they're doing early in the sets defensively means they're going to have more looks and more consistent looks at this Hull Kingston Rovers line.
And when they do get the ball down there, you want to see a bit more enterprise from Warrington, because unless it's Darryl Clark running like this, or maybe Blake Austin punching onto a ball, you know, there's not an awful lot of threat. They're very conservative with the ball.
Widdop kicks crossfield. Toby King will challenge for it, but it's claimed well by Will Dagger for Hull Kingston Rovers.
Great take by Will Dagger.
And here's the other wingman, Ben Crooks. Crooks, one of the Hull Kingston Rovers players who's benefited from the long layoff. He went into lockdown with a neck injury. He's had time to recover from that. Here is Sean Kenny Dow, 1 or 2 still on the road to recovery for Hull Kingston Rovers. Garbett, Garbett thought about flicking that out. Parcell. Ellis. No Jordan Abdul for Hull KR. Parcell's pass. Ellis onto Garbett. Garbett. Philbin has another go, gets him down. Akuala up top. Parcell. Ellis. Ellis shows the ball, gets the pass away to Wella Haraki. Good defence from Toby King. Dagger. Here is Ellis now. Ellis, little chip kick into space. Ratchford covers across and read that one so well, and then counter-attacks to Stefan Ratchford.
Great vision there from Steph Ratchford to pick that kick, an unorthodox kick. Not only to pick it, then to change direction and find a half break.
Warrington looking to bring the ball off their own line. Then let's go down and get the half-time news from Jenna Brooks.
Yeah, Steve Price's biggest message at halftime was that Warrington are just making far too many errors. They haven't been able to build any pressure, and he just wants an improvement in defence in the second half. Tony Smith, he's really pleased with what his side have been doing. He said that they did have a little lapse in defence a couple of times. They let in a couple of tries, and having looked at them again, he feels that they could have easily gone the other way, but he's really enjoying the way his side's playing.
Well, they've been great to watch. They've been enjoyable to watch, but they've conceded a penalty there, and the referee has said it's another 6 for Warrington, and the Wolves hunting more points here. Here is Philbin, 20 metres out. G leading the tacklers. Kyle Trout in there as well. Here is Austin. Austin's pass stretching is Gelling, and Gelling dots the ball down, claims the try. James Child not convinced. And Chris Kendall, the video ref, will have a look at this. Did Gelling get this ball down, or did it get out of his grasp just before the line?
This is a really tight one, and James Child's call of try there is going to be significant, I think. If there's any controlled downward pressure, the call, the on-field call from the referee here is hugely significant, because that's a 50-50 shot. There's fingers on the ball. Is the downward pressure?
I think you get more from Gelling's reaction. The fact he reacted so adamantly that he scored probably tells you that he hasn't, or he felt like he might not have. You see from this angle, he just rolls his fingers over the ball.
That's the fingertip. I think it's going to be good enough, though, Bill.
Anthony Gelling, has he got his second try of the season? He got a try in the last game against Hull FC before lockdown. Has he got the first points of the second half to extend Warrington's lead? He has his second. Chris Kendall confirms it. And Warrington extend their lead.
It was a good ball from Blake Austin. Blake Austin caught the ball pretty flat, stood still, and then just fired it. The pass was on the money. That just meant that Gelling's momentum could keep going. That momentum giving enough to be able to get close enough to the line to plonk it down. Yeah, if that pass is anywhere else but just out in front of Gelling, he doesn't have the momentum to ground the ball. Full speed, it doesn't look like a try, does it? When you slow it down, it was.
And it's a really significant contribution from Blake Austin. It's what he does really well. Standing start, hands on knees, looks disinterested, and then accelerates to catch the ball from the marker. Immediately puts him one defender further out than the defence is expecting.
Rashford 2 for 2 with the kicking duties. This one a tricky one, not round the corner for him. So he's got to hit this one right, and he's just fired it wide of the target. Warrington lead by 16 points to 4 now.
Let's have a look at this in real time. There's that step out from Austin, the ball that John was talking about, and the try in real time. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not a referee.
I know, you slow it down, it paints a whole different picture. We stop it there, and yeah, it is a try when you slow it down. And great upper body strength from Anthony Gelling.
Oh, they tried for another improvised restart, and Ben Crooks very nearly got on the end of it.
I actually don't mind this as a tactic full stop. I don't think the percentages, say it's 50% chance you get the ball back, right? So you get the ball back every other time you do it. I think there's a trade-off to be had here, whether that should be employed.
But the trade-off is obviously field position. I think the timing of it, it's off a kick-off. Generally speaking, you've conceded points if you're kicking off. There was a set restart in there as well, so there's an element of fatigue. Just talking to a couple of players following last round's results, saying they were really surprised at just how much of a magnifying effect that set restart had.
Yeah, but if you kick off, you get 20 yards, 25 yards out from your line anyway.
Gelling's dropped that ball.
So net difference is what, 15 metres? So you're giving up 15 metres, but maybe to get the ball back. And I think there's something in that, you know. We've got, and Hull KR have certainly explored it.
Cautious,
you know.
Cautious John Wells.
Well, he is naturally cautious, but we see that, you know,
Wilkin.
The ball, to get the ball back there on 35 metres out, well, you kick off, you get it back, they carry it to 20 metres out. I think there's something to be said for what they're doing.
Are you as generous, though, if you're on the field?
No.
Your team tries
absolutely sucking it in. I can't breathe. I've just missed 10. I've given away 6 penalties and can't. Yeah, I'd be like, nah, just kick it long. Please kick it long.
Well, Hull Kingston Rovers are in possession with Mitch Garbett. Garbett takes on Sitaleki Akwala and Chris Hill, who do the tackling on the former Leeds man.
I'm conscious as well, we're talking a lot about Hull KR's ball movement and how well they're playing, but it is 16-4 to Warrington. We're playing a game of rugby league. The idea is to win that game, and it's looking likely that Warrington will. We should congratulate Hull KR for how they've played, but ultimately it's got to be about winning as well. There's a trade-off between entertainment and winning.
Ellis lofts the kick. Sean Kenny Dowell had that ball in his hands and then lost it. It was unchallenged there. Lynham was just waiting his time, but Sean Kenny Dowell, 32 years of age. He is now. He's been ever present in his debut season with the Robins, yet to score for them.
Do you know what the Warrington Wolves are doing? They're managing Hull Kingston Rovers really well. I've just reflecting on the last couple of sets. They're managing what's been thrown at them. As an adjustment being made, and a word in some senior players' ears from Steve Price. I think they're managing the sets well. They're managing the defensive line well. There's no one leaping out of a line to try and solve problems. And ultimately, with a side who want to play like Hull Kingston Rovers do, their attack is going to fizzle out. with that management, with that good defensive management.
Yeah, you're relying upon people to be scratchy defensively and to maybe overread things or underread things for Hooker's style to work. And if Warrington stay together, defend together, push hard from the inside of the line and stay steady on the edge, there should be no issues. But it takes the time to adjust. I think, Wellesley, you're really smart to say it. It looks to Warrington have adjusted to how Hooker are playing.
Gelling couldn't claim that kick. He was challenging Ben Crooks for it. Cook Islander trying to get on the end of that kick. It's Hull Kingston Rovers who have possession. Here is Jamie Ellis now. Returning to the side, another of the... Oh, then the error. Will Dagger puts the ball down. I'm saying Jamie Ellis is one of the players who's recovered from injury, coming back after 4 out.
Isn't it funny that you move the ball around, they're doing all these challenging offloads and throwing the ball across people and offloading and kicking short and stuff, and then you make an error. It's just one pass off the ruck.
His career began at Warrington. Will Dagger made 4 appearances back in 2017. He's part of the furniture at Hull Kingston Rovers now, but his error has put Hull Kingston Rovers on the back foot. They're on their own try line. Warrington sensing more fun here. Ratchford gets the ball away to Gelling. Gelling looking for his second. His pass to Charnley doesn't stick, and it goes into touch eventually. Warrington complaining or appealing that it came off Hull Kingston Rovers' hand, and referee James Child agrees. More pressure on the Robins.
Yeah, it's Crooks' left hand, and it's an important contribution. Yes, they have to defend another set, but it potentially saved the try. Stopped Charnley going into the corner.
But has it just delayed the inevitable? Warrington hammering at this Hull Kingston Rovers defence. Widdop. Here is Phil Bin bustling his way towards the line. There's 4 of them, 3 of them now to make the tackle. Referee calls held. Darryl Clark. Clark gets the pass away to Widdop. Widdop short ball. Lovely work from Curry, almost to get the ball over the top. It's another penalty. Hull Kingston Rovers desperately defending here. 16-4. They're still in the hunt, but the game could get very far away from them if Warrington get on a roll and capitalise on all this possession. Here is Cooper now. It's about 5 metres out they are. Clark's short ball to Chris Hill. Hill grits his teeth, takes on Garbett. Austin takes him on himself, bustling his way towards the line. He can't get it over. Desperate scrambling work. Parcell is in there. Darryl Clark. Widdop. Ben Curry now. Curry trying to take him on himself. Ellis makes the tackle. 4 tackles gone. Widdop going again, and again they're penalised.
And the key message for Warrington is don't get bored of this. Don't get bored of spending time putting pressure on Hull Kingston Rovers' line. They've been patient. 2 involvements from Ben Curry in particular. Could have thrown a pass, a low percentage pass, and didn't. They will be rewarded if this carries on.
Araki it was who was penalised.
They are also seeing why Warrington aren't scoring many points. They're quite conservative, hit a lot of lead runners. And I think that's ultimately why they struggle to score points.
Well, they might not struggle for much longer. Toby King, Darryl Clark, Austin. They go across the field to Gelling again. Gelling over the top. Charnley dots this one down. Expert finish from Josh Charnley. Only his 2nd try of the season. Lovely ball from Gelling, and the pressure tells. The back-to-back penalties, I think it was, that Hull Kingston Rovers conceded, and eventually the ball moved out to that right-hand side, and it's Charnley who scores.
Yeah, it's good width, isn't it? Straight from dummy half, and then from Austin as well. Lovely ball out the back from Jack Hughes, and then over the top basketball style from Anthony Gelling. It's the next pass that I like. This one draws in Canely net, and then nice little ball out the back to Gelling, who puts Charnley in the corner.
What I liked about that is there's a lot of short passes. You know, the temptation is when you get down to numbers that you'll throw the longer pass. Okay, our fans not looking too happy there. Well, temptation is to throw that long ball. Well, it was just short pass, offload from Hughes, and then great piece of skill from Gelling on the end.
Wolfie and the Warrington fans celebrating, and you saw the dejected Hull Kingston Rovers fans, including Leonard Gregory, who's watching live in Sydney. He's a Hull Kingston Rovers season ticket holder who never gets to see Hull Kingston Rovers. But more to the point, I think a member of the family there is a Warrington supporter. Well, they're the ones who are celebrating as Ratford lands that one from the sidelines, and Warrington go 22 points to 4 ahead.
I think you've just written the script for a sitcom, Bill. Hull Kingston Rovers fans, you see the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Hull Kingston Rovers and Warrington shirts sharing the same backdrop. There's happy fans and sad fans in the same room. The worrying thing now, when you look at the clock, 54 minutes gone, there's now an 18-point margin here in this game.
And Hull Kingston Rovers couldn't pull it off that time. I think Warrington have got wise to what's coming at the restarts.
Yeah, look at Warrington's team sheet, and it's fully stacked, isn't it? They've got a great squad, they're very well coached. So you felt, look, going into the game, you were expecting this to be a landslide to Warrington. The game filled us with that bit of hope, didn't it, at the start? Something different was coming, but there's an air of inevitability about Warrington's push towards the finish line here.
Yeah, Gelling is making holes as well. Philbin. And I think Charnley might benefit as this game goes on. Widdop goes to air. Sean Kenny down, couldn't claim that. It went backwards and Quinlan tied it up. And it was a Warrington knock-on in actual fact, says James Childs. So they'll play the ball. No scrum, of course.
And they're in control of this game. I said an 18-point margin at the moment. Warrington haven't been great. I think they've managed what Hull Kingston Rovers have thrown at them. They've made adjustments. The shape is certainly there. The communication's certainly there. But there's a fair bit of execution to work on, both with ball in hand in attack and how they end sets and where they put in the opposition.
Can Hull Kingston Rovers find a way back into this game? Elliot Minchella, another of the players who's invited to take the opportunity that Tony Smith is giving them in these next few weeks. Players who've got a point to prove. Once of the Leeds club, Elliot Minchella, then Bradford Bulls. Here is Ellis. Ellis on to Quinlan, the fullback. Again, moving the ball around at Hull Kingston Rovers, but not making any forward progress.
Look, they've lost the momentum and they've lost direction. It's because of that Warrington Wolves defence. No one's panicking. They're talking to each other. They're keeping space. No one's coming out the line. And the result, Nate Petru has not maintained possession. He's going to give up possession. And what will follow is territory. And this is a cumulative effect, John, as John was saying earlier. You know, if you're not coming out of your own half, if you're not completing sets, if you're taking those risks, that will eventually, when you're faced up against a side who is prepared to go through the grind, that'll end up biting you on the backside.
We've seen since it's restarted, actually, that teams go through periods of possession. Hull had a particularly rich part of possession in the start of the game, and then since then it's pretty much been Warrington. But if you look at every game, it's defined by periods of extended possession. St Helens, Catalan, Castleford, Catalan today, you know, long periods of possession. And whether it's the new rules or not, it seems teams can just be hold of the ball for a period of time, and Warrington are devastating if you give them this amount of ball.
They're looking to be devastating now. Blake Austin, Widdop gets the pass to Toby King. King, good footwork from him. Ellis and Haraki stop him. 10 metres out. The sun setting behind the Western Terrace as Mike Cooper heads in that direction and then offloads to Darryl Clark. Clark to King again. King gets the pass back to Darryl Clark. Got his admirers in the NRL as Darryl Clark. Cooper, who's done his time in the NRL. Clark now. Oh, and the pass to Curry didn't stick. They get that close. The build-up.
Yeah, I think Warrington's attack is scratchy, and like I said, as Clark jumps down the short side, he preempted that play, wanted 2 runners to double up on. I think it was on Wella Haraki, but look, I think the NRL is different to Super League, and I think halfbacks in the NRL are sometimes more conservative. It's more about setting for a kick, about structure and shape. I think that's changing, I will say that, but Gareth Widdop and Blake Austin are of that mindset. It's to set up for a play, turn Chris Hill back inside, you know, set your plays up one at a time. And, you know, I don't know if that's how Super League is.
It's certainly not how Hull Kingston Rovers view the game should be played. Here is Minchella again. They have been really cavalier in this game, as we saw from the opening minutes. 6 to go, says the referee. There's a Warrington hand in there. That was risky. And the referee is going to bring them back as Gelling scampers off looking for a second. And it will be Hull Kingston Rovers possession.
It was no advantage played, so that was the attempted advantage that Minchella was trying to get with a pass. There's the original knock on Parcell, trying to offload off the hands of Ben Curry. Probably would be remiss of us not to say at this point, this is the first game back for both sides for a long period of time. I'm conscious, as we're saying, the attack scratcher, the defence is scratcher. This is what we could be. It's because expectations are so hard, and I think what professional sport has been through is almost a microcosm of what wider society has been through. Just huge changes, huge upheaval, not being able to do the things that we loved and enjoy doing, and along with that is training.
Oh, that's lovely handwork, and here is Dagger. Oh, Dagger was trying to get the ball back to Quinlan. The pass, I think, did it come off a Warrington hand though? No, just didn't stick.
Quinlan tried to appear on the outside, and Dagger couldn't find the pass. Yeah, I agree actually, Wells, you're really right to say that. They're entitled to be scratchy, but my point about Warrington was that they were scratchy before lockdown and a little bit scratchy with the ball. I think they're a fantastic team full of star players, but I think ultimately those problems, or some of the problems, they're just minor issues, are still unfolding now, and we see that today.
Saints weren't scratchy last week. They ripped right back into it, didn't they?
But yeah, I think the most impressive thing about Saints that stood out amongst the other teams is their execution. Warrington have executed very well in periods tonight, but have also been poor. Hull KR have come out with a great attitude, but have been scratchy. Catalan's second half, very impressive, but everyone's had periods. It was only St Helens really.
Well, probably the best example, that was Huddersfield and Leeds on the opening the opening weekend, wasn't it? I mean, to all intents and purposes, a Huddersfield Giants win with 13 minutes to go. It shows you momentum and what that, if you're not in the grind, if you're not in round 17 and you've got that level of build-up of football in you. Here come Warrington.
Ratchford bursting through the middle. He has got Widdop in support. Widdop will finish off, and Warrington cutting loose there. Gareth Widdop gets his 3rd try of the campaign. The man who is subject of speculation about a return to the NRL has been involved to the full extent in this Warrington performance today, and he's crowned it with a try.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of play around the ruck. Walker out to Cooper, back on the inside to Ratchford, and then Widdop in support. Good half-back play, good full-back play. Just sniffing around the base of the ruck there, gets an inside ball from Cooper. He's into the backfield, and then has Widdop on his left-hand shoulder. And they'll go out 28 points to 4 with this pre-planned play. Still has to be executed, and that's probably the best piece of attacking football we've seen this evening from Warrington.
Yeah, well-structured play. You know, Matt Cooper and Ratchford picking on the air defender, being on his heels. When you've got that many people coming at you, you have to sit back on your heels. And Ratchford, for me, is at his best when he appears in those holes between the scrum lines, when he's supporting his bigger men. That's his strength.
Ratchford 3 from 4, and this one a formality for him. Taken to 18 in Super League for the season, this kick. Running on target, out of the ground in actual fact. Warrington ahead by 28 points to 4.
Mike Cooper's difficult enough to deal with on his own, but when you've got Steph Ratchford on your inside, it's a tough task, and great support there from Gareth Widdop. But that's where Stephen Ratchford's at his best, is picking off little opportunities, being creative about where he appears. And there's not many fullbacks play how Stephen Ratchford does.
And as a defender, you can't account for that, really. He's not in the line. He's a floating body. It's all about the timing of the pass there and the timing of the line run from Steph Ratchford.
Distant memory of the Hull Kingston Rovers lead from that Ben Crooks try. Second minute of the game, 28-4. They now trail. They're heading for their 6th consecutive Super League defeat. Having won in round 1, they beat Wakefield 30 points to 12 when Ben Crooks scored those 4 tries. That was back on the 31st of January. That seems like another planet.
Well, it was a lifetime ago, wasn't it? Yeah. It was a different world, a different time.
Here they are now, feeling the full force of the Warrington might. Still with plenty of time for Warrington to increase the punishment. Quinlan in possession for Hull Kingston Rovers. Let's go down to the sidelines, get a perspective from that angle from Phil Clark.
Well, I think teams can grow their confidence, Bill, when they score points, and it's looking at the moment that the Warrington ones are the team most likely to do that. I would say that they haven't looked brilliant in their attack for the first hour, but that last try was like a team try. I think almost like St Helens at the best last week here. A combination of players, and that's, I think, when you become a difficult side to beat, when you've got a combination that are attacking you in threat like that. I think that they'll build on that, and they'll be very, very happy here to finish this last quarter.
In control of this game, that's for sure. Here is George Lawler, always a full-blooded contributor to the Hull Kingston Rovers causes. George Lawler, 5th tackle. It's a bit scratchy as Minchella, I think, who hoists that kick. Charnley is underneath it. Charnley goes Widdershins there and gets away eventually to Ratchford and finds Lynham. Back to Charnley. And they haven't really made any forward progress.
It looked nice, though. Went through 3 pairs of hands and that ended up where it started, with Josh Charnley in the same position.
But it's not always about going forward now in the modern game. If you look at some players, they make as many metres laterally as they do forward, and it's just to make defenders accountable.
Widdop was on the shoulder of Toby King there, hoping for a pass. King couldn't get it away to him. Here is Cooper now. Over 220 Warrington appearances for Mike Cooper. As Widdop puts the kick in, Curry is racing after this. And eventually, I think it's just going to go dead. Yeah, Dagger kept a close eye on that.
It was well left by Dagger. He filled everyone. He looked as though he dived to pat it out. He didn't.
Here is Ben Crooks now. Here is Dagger once more. Matt Parcell up towards the halfway line. 14 minutes of this contest to go. Lawler now. And there's a ball steal in there. Jack Hughes was appealing that it was a knock-on. James Child saw it differently.
It's Danny Walker. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a tough call on Danny Walker. That not a clear ball steal. There's Jack Hughes, actually. Yeah, the cheeky underhand grip that nobody could see.
Furtive.
Yeah, a strong grip.
So Hull Kingston Rovers have an opportunity to see if they can unlock Warrington's defence. Miserly defence. Just that try scored in the first couple of minutes of the game. Here's Kane Lynette, the Scottish international centre. Lynette is only 5 metres away. Parcell picks up and goes, but the pass is a looping one. Now they come to this side. It's with Quinlan. Quinlan stands, gets the pass away to Dean Hadley. Hanley tackled again, bang in front of those posts, 5 metres out. Parcell Ryan Briley trying to step, and they're offside at Warrington. So back-to-back penalties for Hull Kingston Rovers. Surely they can capitalise on this now. Here is Ellis. Oh, and then the ball is spilled. Hadley couldn't take the pass. And again, Hull Kingston Rovers, they don't get many opportunities. They've got to make the most of situations like that.
We talk about Warrington being scratchy with the ball, but defensively, the disciplines now are top-notch. You know, they're all very square. They very rarely have people coming out of the system. They work hard from the inside of the line to put pressure on ball players to play. And that's why they're a good defensive team. It's disciplined, a collective discipline towards defending.
And if I'm looking at the other side of the field, John, I'm looking at Hull Kingston Rovers, and they are going to lose this game. But I look at Nate Petter, who makes his debut for them today. He was signed during lockdown. I look at Kane Lynette in the left centre, who I think has been an exceptional signing from. The skills of Adam Quinlan at fullback, Matt Parcell out. They've got something to hang the hat on, Hull Kingston Rovers fans.
Well, they'll get some more players back from injury as well in the coming weeks. Quinlan's lost the ball. Ratchford's picked it up, and Ratchford will go in under the sticks. Oh, that's painful for Hull Kingston Rovers. And Stefan Ratchford was there to swoop on the error from the Rovers fullback, who shuts his eyes and wants to blot out the memory of what has just happened. Quinlan has really tried his hardest to ignite Hull Kingston Rovers today, but it's his error that has led to more Warrington points.
It's a good kick from Blake Austin. It allows it to be competitive. Gareth Widdop's under the ball. But Adam Quinlan has nothing to be embarrassed about his performance today. I think he's been great for OKR. He's been busy. Widdop got in his eye line.
He snatched at the ball. He's tried to take the ball earlier than he needed to. I think he's misjudged how close the Warrington player was there. It won't matter to Warrington Wolves fans. They've got 2 points in the bag. It's a successful restart for them. Successful restart for that man as well, Steph Ratchford. Over more than 350 games now in his senior career. He'll add 2 more. I look at Adam Quinlan and I go, if there's a chink in the armour there, it is under the high ball, and he looked like he panicked for a moment then, tried to take the ball overhand.
Ratchford bang in front of the post again. His try, his conversion. He's having a profitable afternoon, is Stefan Ratchford. Warrington's long-serving fullback, nearly 250 wire appearances. The Warrington fans enjoying this, as we can see. And Wolfie, well, cheer up, Wolfie. He's got those cakes to eat. Those cakes have remained untouched through this game. That's showing great discipline, I think, from Wolfie.
Yeah, Steve Price getting Stefan Ratchford off the field. He's well and truly done his job today. A lot of quality about Stefan Ratchford, and the flexibility that he gives you in your squad is incredible. You know, he can fill in at 9, he can play in the halves, he can play centre if you need him to, and usually whatever he does is that adaptable. He does it well.
I think he's the complete player, isn't he? He's a fullback with the hands of a half, but we've seen him pull off some amazing defensive contributions in the past as well.
Garbutt tackle just before
exactly.
half-time.
Just before half-time was a perfect example of that.
He's brave as well. Here is Blake Austin now. And Warrington going through the gears. And Matty Ashton, they won't catch him, they will. I honestly would have thought Matty Ashton would have finished that.
Well, I tell you,
one of the best finishers in the championship.
That is a very, very quick individual. It's worth saying on Matty Ashton. He's making his comeback after a long period of time out with a hamstring injury. This is what he's built his game around, speed. So, look, it's past the first test, and he'll be disappointed he's not managed to get the ball away and a try being scored, but he'll be happy that he's been able to open his legs and get some real confidence back into that.
And you know, I've watched this kid develop. I played against him in the championship, and then watched him really develop. And at the start of this year, he just exploded, didn't he? And then when he got that injury, you sort of really upset for the kid. But great to see him back it out there today. And then my heart sank when that's his first touch. Do you know, if you've got a bad hamstring, what do you not need? You don't need a 40-metre cold sprint. if that was me, they'd have been both of mine would have twanged off.
It's probably worth saying it was a really serious injury. I think there was an operation that followed, a hamstring torn off the bone. So, a real period of rehabilitation for him, and a really exciting addition to Super League and to the Warrington Wolves.
Yeah, and we're talking about Warrington's attack improving. Well, having a Matty Ashton and a Ratchford in your team and those kind of characters is just all good for making clean breaks.
And this is just, this is a perfect time as Hull Kingston Rovers make another error. That this is the sort of thing, the game's won, 10 minutes left, and you give a guy like Matty Ashton some experience.
Another error from Hull Kingston Rovers. He hasn't had a happy game, Sean Kenny-Dowell. Sin-binned in the first half. And Warrington take possession on that Rovers 20-metre line and will look to extend their lead here. 34-4 they lead. They trailed 4-0 after the opening couple of minutes. But they are in total control of this contest now. And Walker to Blake Austin. Austin to Sitaleki Akwala, one of the Warrington try scorers at Emerald Headingley. We'll be back for more action tomorrow from the Betfred Super League. Cooper, little weaving run from him. Here is Walker now, the former Widner's man. It's the pass to Ashton. Ashton tackled by Brierley and Kane Lynette. And that's a shove by Ashton as that ball was just being played, and the penalty has gone against Warrington. It's the shove on Brierley.
It was a pretty interesting reaction from Ryan Brierley.
As I said, more action coming up from Emerald Headingley. Tomorrow, 3 games. We begin at 12:55 with Salford against Hull FC, and followed by Wakefield against Wigan, 3:15 for that. And rounding things off is Leeds against St Helens, 6:25. All of those on Sky Sports Arena, all from the Emerald Headingley Stadium. Thanks for their hospitality again today. Difficult circumstances, but the pitch has lasted well. It's going to take more treatment tomorrow. Apparently there might be a bit of rain as well. Here's Sean Kenny-Dowell, 40-metre line in the Robins half. Dean Hadley, Nate Petteru. The ball shipped on to Lawler. Lawler's had it ripped out of his grasp by Mike Cooper. Penalty goes Hull Kingston Rovers' way.
Yep, two in the tackle. So Hughes hadn't let go of Lawler before. Cooper had taken the ball away. I'll tell you, those games, a real mouth-watering clash tomorrow, that finale. Leeds St Helens, really looking forward to that.
No Conrad Hurrell for the Rhinos. That's a big blow for them, isn't it? Here's Hadley now. Oh, Hadley gets the ball away. Well, they're staying true to their strategy, Hull Kingston Rovers, as this game heads towards the final hooter. Still keeping this ball alive, still looking to find a way through Warrington's defence, using enterprise and imagination. Have they got the energy? Sean Kenny-Dowell gets the pass away, and Quinlan will go in. Quinlan gets a well-deserved try. Sean Kenny-Dowell's pass. Adam Quinlan with the finish, his first of the season. He's got something to smile about, and that sums up Hull Kingston Rovers' enterprise to me.
And as I said, Adam Quinlan's I think he's been fantastic. A bit of ball movement again, which goes without saying for this Hull KR team. Sean Kenny-Dowell skipped back towards the middle of the field, and Quinlan picked a great line-up. Again, a standout performer for Hull KR today. And Minchella with the early ball, and then Jamie Ellis drifts across the line, brings Kenny-Dowell back, and then just great timing from Adam Quinlan, who's again, like Ratchford, appearing in those holes through the middle of the field. A few great performances from Hull KR. I think Adam Quinlan's been great.
Something to celebrate in Sydney.
Indeed. Dean Hadley, I think he's had a good game. There's been some good performances from Hull KR, but ultimately 40%, 50% completion, you can't win a rugby league game.
Ryan Brierley has got the goal-kicking duties. He missed with his first one. That was from wide out after that Ben Crooks try. This from bang in front of the posts. At least they'll get into double figures. 34-10. You're talking about the completion rate. Is that a consequence, though, of chancing your arm? If you're going to play the way Hull Kingston Rovers have gone about things today, you're likely to end up with a completion rate like that.
But I think if you can play this style and achieve 60%, so completing 6 out of every 10, every 10 sets, I think you're a chance of winning a game. But when you're completing 4 out of 10 sets, you're just gifting the opposition. And Hull have been lucky to an extent that Warrington made so many errors also. They've made 14 handling errors this afternoon in Warrington. So that's probably saved Hull somewhat. I really enjoyed how they've played, but ultimately you've got to back that up with some skill and some end product to your sets.
Or the error from Hadley. Give Warrington possession there, deep in Hull Kingston Rovers territory. Just took his eye off the ball. So Warrington will move up the table on the back of this result. Of course, the goal is a top 4 finish, and of course the grand final. And Steve Price has got a great record in that respect. He's taken the Wolves to 3 major finals out of a possible 4 in his 2 full seasons in charge. So he's got high hopes for this season. Jason Clark with an ambitious pass in a lot of traffic there.
I think Steve Price gets his team to grand finals because of the defensive quality of them, and also the way in which they play suits those big games towards the back end of the year. Maybe the ground's a bit wetter. They've got 2 fantastic kickers of the ball. Blake Austin specifically in a few of those big games with an incredible kicking game. So this team suits the back end of the year. They've got big game players who suit those October nights, or whenever the season finishes this year. That could be whenever, couldn't it?
November nights.
Yeah.
There was a Hull Kingston Rovers hand in that little schmozzle, which means Warrington have got possession back. Here's Sitaleki Akwala playing the ball. Austin, a couple of dummies there, but Matty G and Mitch Garbutt doing the tackling for Hull Kingston Rovers. Jack Hughes spins the ball away. Danny Walker now. Walker's pass to Cooper. Cooper puts the brakes on and gets the offload away, and the referee has penalised Warrington there. There's an obstruction, says James Child. Ben Crooks sets off, I beg your pardon. Here's Jamie Ellis, and Ellis has lost the ball. It's 6 to go, says the referee. There was a Warrington hand in there. Can the Robins finish off the game as they started it with a bit of improvisation? Ellis appealing. Referee agreed. Halfway line with Mitch Garbutt. Garbutt pops it over the top to Parcell. Parcell gets the ball away to Ellis now. Ellis takes the tackle. Here is Quinlan. Quinlan back on the inside to Hadley. Hadley, Minchella across the field to Garbutt. Garbutt, ball in one hand, looking for an offload. Minchella once more. Long ball from him, finds Sean Kenny Dowell. He comes back across the field, cut down, good tackle by Akwala. Off goes Matt Parcell. Parcell finds Ellis. They're still on the 20-metre line. Little kick over the top. Charnley comes back and picks it up. Crooks is chasing him. Charnley will counter for Warrington. That spell of possession from Hull Kingston Rovers ate up about a minute.
And now, King's in the clear. Great work.
Toby King has got them lined up in support. And Tom Lynham is going to get his second of the game and finish this off for Warrington. That's a great counter from Steve Price's men. A glimmer of a smile on the face of the Warrington coach. And he is smiling. Plenty to smile about the way his side have got better as they go on. Tom Lynham salutes the empty Western Terrace as only he can.
I'll tell you, what a great transition this was, though. From that play, the ball that Charnley picked up, it was Gelling to Toby King. For me, one of the brightest stars in Super League, who just checked his stride a little bit, committed Quinlan, And then Lynham backed up on the inside. Just have a look at how Toby King here ghosts through on the outside of Elliot Minchella. There's Lynham back up on the inside. Really, really impressed with Toby King. And they'll finish with a bit of a flourish, the Warrington Wolves. Plenty to work on. The fans will probably say we'll give this a B+, because there's plenty of points in the plus column. But obviously still work to do.
Widdop will kick this goal with Ratchford off the field. He succeeds. Wolfie's got his dressing gown on. He's ready for bed. And